All right. Hello, everybody. It is our monthly Q&A for the month of September 2025. Today is September 24th, 2025. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I do these monthly Q&As on the last Wednesday of every month because this is the kind of conversation that I wish that I could have had when I first started unschooling 6 years ago. I wish that I could have had someone that I could have talked to about unschooling and address my questions and my concerns and my fears and all the stuff that was happening in my head. And so I'm grateful that I get to hold space for all of you to be here to ask your questions about unschooling, whether you are totally new to unschooling or maybe you've been unschooling for a long time. So if you can get 2 seconds and just type in the chat and let me know where you're watching from. I see we've got a lot of people from Maryland, which is great. Maryland's my hometown. Adriana, I see, is watching us from Tennessee. That's awesome. We got, yeah, some more Marylanders in the house. This is great. Okay, awesome. So this really is just an informal time to kind of come together as homeschooling and unschooling parents and to just talk about whatever questions that you may have. So we're a pretty small group tonight. So if you have specific questions, you are welcome to just unmute yourself and you can talk and ask your question if you like. Or you can also type your questions in the chat and I'll be happy to answer each of those. So we're here in the Zoom right now going through all of the questions live. I'm also live on TikTok, so people in TikTok I know are watching. I see someone's watching from New Jersey. Hello. And so once I finish answering all the questions from the people here in the Zoom, then I'll go ahead and address any questions on TikTok. So yeah, so I don't know who would like to kind of kick us off for tonight. What questions do you have about unschooling?
Can you just describe like I know unschooling meaning like don't follow a curriculum, but what can you like I guess define exactly what it means if it's okay?
Of course, of course. That's a great
Yeah.
question. Actually, that's a great way to kick off our conversation. So I define, to be honest, I'm not really a fan of the term unschooling. I think it needs a total rebrand. But it's kind of the term we've been stuck with. So I personally define unschooling as self-directed education. And I know you said it, like not using a curriculum and things like that. And I think that a lot of people have that idea that unschooling means that we're not using a curriculum or we're not doing anything that looks or feels like school. I used to define unschooling in that way, but I think over the years, my definition has definitely grown and evolved. And that's why I choose to define unschooling now as self-directed education. So basically just means that children are in control of deciding what they learn, when they learn, where they learn, how they learn, and why they learn, and for how long they learn. And so, but the children are the ones that are in the driver's seat and are choosing all of those different aspects of their learning. And there are some instances where some students, some children do actually choose to learn through a curriculum or even through going to school. And so that's why I kind of had to shift my definition there because there are some unschoolers that do choose a little bit more formal structure and they do choose to use those things. Now, I know that there might be some unschoolers out there that would disagree with me and say, no, that's not real unschooling if they're using a curriculum. But I don't think that that's true. I think that, again, that the heart of unschooling is that the child is the one who's choosing what they learn, when they learn, where they learn, how they learn, and why they learn. And if they're choosing a curriculum, that's totally fine with me. But in general, I think for people who are new to unschooling, it helps to have that idea that unschooling is letting go of all of those kinds of things because for us, using a curriculum is normal. And for our children, in most
What is
cases,
that?
a curriculum is
What to
normal.
say
And so
about
it can be
unschooling?
hard.
Hi.
It can be hard to let go of that idea that learning has to look like this in this way with these particular resources and in this order and those kinds of things. So I think if you are new to the idea of unschooling, what I would say is imagine for a moment that school does not exist. Live your life like school does not exist. At least for one, we recommend typically 1 month for every year that you or your child has been in school. And just kind of give yourself a break from the schooling mindset. And then down the line, if your child is like, hey, I think I'm ready to take an algebra class, then awesome, go for it. Take an algebra class. That's fine. But if you're just getting started with this idea of giving your children educational freedom, I would definitely recommend kind of steering away from things like curriculum for sure. But yes, did that answer your question or did that make it more confusing?
No, I think it really, it opened up a lot of, it explained a lot. Now, if it's okay, if I can share, if you can
Of
give me
course,
a little
yeah,
bit of guidance, is that okay?
sure.
My son is autistic. He's 6. He's an ABA. I'm gonna start new classes with him, kind of guiding me how to help him, I guess, how to direct him in doing like I guess homeschooling, right?
Yeah.
But he does not like it. He's a cool, calm, collective kid. But when I mention homeschooling or let's do some homework, he
Yeah,
is like a 360. He is a different kid I've never met before.
yeah. Yeah, and that's very common. A lot of that comes from like the, demand avoidance kind of thing. And especially with children who have special needs, I notice that a lot of students that have special needs tend to have a little bit more resistance when it comes to like force or pressure
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
their learning. And
Yes.
actually come in and let me know if you are trying to homeschool a child or are homeschooling a child that has special needs. I'd love to know if we have any other special needs families in the house. But again, if you were trying to make your child do something,
Hmm.
that would be a sign that we're kind of drifting more into the school at home mentality rather than really giving our children the
Hmm.
freedom to embrace their natural learning passions. Because when
Okay.
we give our children the freedom to learn what they want, when they want, where they want, how they want, and why they want,
Mhm. Yeah.
there's nothing to resist.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
There's nothing to push back on
Hmm.
because they're doing what they want every day. I'm not trying to make them
Yeah.
do math.
Yeah. Gotcha. Even when it comes to like right now, like just learning, like just writing, because he knows his ABCs, his letters, his
Yeah,
numbers, but it's just like, it's like writing. Even when I try to like help him write the letter D, for example, it's like a fit. Yeah.
yeah. And it's okay. How old is he? And you said he's 6?
He's gonna turn 6 next month. Yeah.
Okay, he's still little.
Yeah.
He's still little. Yeah, especially with boys. Boys like again, I'm going to speak in generalizations here. I know this isn't every boy, but most boys learn not from sitting down and doing handwriting. Like they learn from being physical. They need to move their body. They need to run around and burn energy and jump and do stuff with their hands, in general. And so that's again another reason why kind of I say this all the time. I feel like schools were just not designed for boys. In that sense. A lot of boys, it breaks my heart. Actually, I wrote about this in my book, Tales of a Toxic Teacher. That was something that we would see all the time is that boys just had a hard time. They didn't want to sit down for 6 hours a day. They didn't want to be stuck in a chair. They wanted to move around. They wanted to run. They wanted to burn off their energy. And school's like, nope, sit down and be quiet. And they're like, no. And yeah, so it's a really hard dynamic, I think, for children to be in a school setting where they're forced to sit down and be quiet and follow directions for extended periods of time. And most of them are just not wired that way. Like we're not meant to just be sitting in a chair for 6 hours a day. And so yeah, so when it comes to the writing part, I know that it's hard because we feel this external pressure to be like, I want my child to learn this thing, or I think this thing is really important. But what happens is that when we try to force our children to do something that they are not interested in, they don't have a desire for, they're not ready for it, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, developmentally ready for that, we end up creating the opposite effect that they develop that resistance, and then eventually that resistance leads to dread and hatred and avoidance and resistance and all of those kinds of things, which we definitely don't want to see. So if I were you, I would stop trying to force him to do that. Like I would just stop. There are
Okay.
lots of ways that you can practice like writing skills with a 5-year-old that don't involve like making him write down the letter D when he's like kicking and screaming and like, "Ah, I don't want to do this," right? Some things that you can do just on a practical level, are like changing the way that they're doing it. So like maybe rather than writing a D on a piece of paper, go outside and draw with chalk. If you still have good weather where you can draw outside with chalk, or make the letters with Play-Doh, or use a whiteboard. I mean, there's like other things that you can do instead of just like the pen and paper. And a lot of times just changing that little thing will be like make a big difference, but also getting back to the heart of like, why am I trying to make him write the letter D, you know?
Gotcha. Thank you so much for all that. That's really, really good. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a great question. Thank you for asking.
Yes.
All right, let me see. Does anyone else have any other questions? And like I said, if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away, or you can type your questions in the comments, and I'll make sure that I go through all of the questions in the chat and get to answer everyone's questions here. So I see we got a couple other families in here that have children with special needs. Yeah, exhaustion, overwhelm. Yeah, and a lot of those issues too, like exhaustion and overwhelm, the resistance that a lot of times we see, a lot of that just disappears naturally when you start unschooling. It's a really magical thing to see.
Hola Ángela, buenas tardes.
Hi, hi.
Perdón, es en español, no me puedo, sí entiendo
Ah,
el inglés, pero a hablarlo no me siento muy segura. Tengo
okay, so
una,
esta reunión es
ajá,
para las personas que hablan inglés. Hago las reuniones en español el segundo miércoles del mes. Así que
ok.
si puedes hacerlo en español, puedes esperar y en 2 semanas vamos a hacer la reunión en español.
Ok, ok, está bien, gracias.
De nada. All right. Did anyone else have a question that they wanted to talk about?
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, doing great. How are you? I'm assuming you're not Esperanza.
Actually, your husband,
Okay, there we go. What was your name?
Enrique.
Enrique. Nice to meet you. I was like, you do not sound like an Esperanza to me.
We spoke on the phone before, and then I saw that you do this meeting. So, I did ask a few questions over the phone, but my husband, if you talk a little bit more about the program, I try to explain to him, but I'm not very good at explaining that well. So, if you can, do like a quick explanation of what your the program, we're interested on the PAX Academy, so
Okay.
talk a little bit more about it so he can have a better understanding about it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So PAX Academy is a registered and accredited private school for unschoolers. I know that sounds like an oxymoron. I promise it is not. So what that means is that we function as a private school, but we give you the freedom to be able to unschool your children, or basically to educate them in whatever way that you believe is best. Now, not all of the families in PAX Academy are unschoolers. There are some that do the more school at home approach, or some that follow curriculum, and that is totally fine. But I definitely advocate for and encourage families to pursue unschooling, which is self-directed education. So what does that look like? Actually, can you tell me what state you guys live in?
I live in Maryland.
Maryland.
Okay, in Maryland here with me. Okay, yes, I thought you guys were Marylanders. Okay, so for example, in Maryland, if you were to go under the homeschooling route, then you would have to fill out what's called a notice of intent to homeschool. You would have to submit portfolios to a representative from your county twice per year. That sounds like extra stress that nobody needs in their life, to be honest. And so, yeah, so that would kind of be the process for homeschooling if you were to follow the Maryland law. The other big difference, if you were to just go the regular homeschooling route, is that you as the parents would be responsible to issue transcripts and diplomas for your child. Now, I know for a lot of people that sounds really crazy. Like, what do you mean? I just like give my child a transcript and diploma? And yes, the answer to that question is yes. So parents have the legal right to issue their children transcripts and diplomas. You literally could go in your basement and create a transcript on your computer and print it out and give it to your child, and they can use that diploma to be able to go to college. Now, that being said, one of the reasons why people choose to enroll in a school like PAX Academy is because we provide the legal covering of being enrolled in a private school, which means that when they're enrolled with us, we will issue them transcripts and diplomas on behalf of an accredited private school. And so they're legally considered private school students instead of homeschoolers. So that means that whenever they're ready to go to college, they can graduate and go to college, and they don't have to jump through all the hoops that most homeschoolers have to jump through when they're like, they're applying to college and the admissions person is like, hey, your mom said you got an A in calculus. How'd you do that? So they're kind of counting on us as the school to do our due diligence so that we are reporting on behalf of you. And it just makes the transition process a whole lot easier. Now, in addition to that, being enrolled in PAX Academy is also going to give you a lot of other benefits as well. So because we're a private school, we can accept students from all 50 states. And there are certain states like Maryland that have specific requirements. But if you're enrolled in a private school, then you don't have to do those. So for example, when you enroll in PAX Academy, you don't have to do a portfolio with the county. If you live in Florida, same thing. Florida requires you to do a portfolio and testing and all this other stuff. But if you're enrolled in PAX Academy, you don't have to do that, any of that anymore. And so that's one of the benefits. People want to kind of not have to deal with a lot of the extra headaches that homeschoolers do. One of the other benefits of being in PAX Academy is that we also provide, so when your children are enrolled with us, you are actually considered a teacher with a private school. So that means that you can take advantage of any store, company, anything that offers teacher discounts, you would be able to get those teacher discounts. So some of the things that we've been, or me or families in PAX Academy have gotten discounts for are Canva is included for free. So Canva is an online graphic design software. It usually costs $200 per year. You can have access to that for free. ABC Mouse is included for free because you're able to set up a teacher account with ABC Mouse and use that for free. I've gotten discounts at Target, at Disney World, at Universal Studios, on movie theaters, car rentals. I had to get a new laptop. I saved over $300 on my laptop. My family and I went on a cruise with Margaritaville. We were able to go on a free cruise because of our PAX Academy discount. I got into like the Science Center for free, different historical sites we can go in for free with my teacher ID badge. I even got into a castle in France for free with my PAX Academy teacher ID badge. So you get a lot of additional benefits for being a part of the private school. But you were asking kind of how does it work? So the way that this works is when you enroll in PAX Academy, your child is considered enrolled in a private school, and then you are free to educate your child in whatever way that you believe is best. So you can use whatever resources, curriculum, tools, literally anything that you want to be able to educate your children. And we help you convert whatever it is that you're doing with your children into academic credit, and then we report that on our transcript. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, okay, I get that part, but is there a specific curriculum that is required for them to learn?
No. Your child is your curriculum. So for example, and this applies in all states, right? So every state, not every state, there are some states that have what are called required subjects, but there's no required curriculum. And so what that means is, for example, how old is your child?
He's 7.
So we have a 7-year-old,
And
but I mentioned to you we have a 3-year-old, and I
Right.
think that he could go. We could do the program for him as well.
Yes, you can. So for PAX Academy, we do accept students as young as 3 years old, and 3 years old up to adults. So for example, with your 7-year-old, right? The state of Maryland requires that your child learn 8 different subjects. Those subjects are English, math, science, social studies, art, music, health, physical education. Yeah, those are the 8. All right. So the way that they learn those subjects is entirely up to you. So let's take English, for example, right? We've got English. They have to learn English this year. What are some ways that your child could learn English?
speaking it, writing it, reading it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So using a curriculum is one way that they could learn English, but the problem with using a curriculum is that a curriculum is someone else's agenda for your child.
Got it.
Right? So when you buy a curriculum, the curriculum is going to say, okay, today we're going to read this short story about princesses, and you're going to answer these multiple choice questions about the princesses. And your son is like, I don't want to read a book about princesses.
Right.
Right? Like, I want to read the robot book. Or what does your son like to read about?
He likes
Minecraft.
Minecraft, so he likes books on Minecraft.
Great. Okay. So does it really matter? Like, do you think it really matters if you're making your child read the princess book or the Minecraft book?
To me, yeah.
What do you mean? Like, you want to force your child to read the princess book?
No. That's what I'm saying. To me, is I don't want him to get forced to read that. I want him to read what he wants.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Right. And so that's the unschooling philosophy is like, if you choose a curriculum, the curriculum is going to choose for you what your child is going to read, what they're going to write about, how they're going to prove to you that they learned whatever it was that they learned. But with an unschooling philosophy, I I don't care what he reads. I want my child to discover what they love to read. And they're not going to discover what they love to read if they're being forced to read stuff that they hate. Do you know what I
So
mean?
yeah, I got you. That curriculum part I got, but there is a second piece to it, which was the same, almost the same question, but um, as parents, we've never teach, and
Yeah.
that's the very first thing that comes across your head. How am I going to teach this cat? How am I going to tell him what to do? How am I going to, it goes through your head. And what do you do when those attitudes come out? And the patience is because we as parents, not everybody's built as a teacher, correct? But my question to you is how, or is there a way that you guys have like a curriculum for us as parents?
Like a guide.
Like a guidance, yeah.
So we do have a course for you as parents. It is a course that I designed that teaches you as the parent how to unschool from kindergarten or from preschool all the way through 12th grade.
Okay.
But the course is for you to do that internal work that most of us need to do to be able to let go of like the schoolish mentality that so many of us have and hold on to. You mentioned like, well, gosh, how are we as parents going to teach our kids? You've already done it. And let me give you an example. But before your child turned 5, did he know any of his colors?
A few.
A few of them? Okay.
Yeah.
Did he know any numbers?
Yes.
Okay, could he count at all?
Yes, he could. Yeah, I brought like
Okay.
I start buying stuff from the learning school, like
Uh-huh.
through 30, like flashcards, and I'll show him,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
he'll memorize what is this, and he'll say it. Same thing
Okay.
as flashcards. I think flashcards are really good. They memorize stuff. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you bought some resources to help him. So it sounds like he knew his colors, he knew his numbers. Did he know any of his letters?
yeah,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
few. Yeah,
Did he know shapes, any shapes at all?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mom worked
Did
on that.
he know animals?
Yes.
A few animals,
Few.
not all.
Okay, that's fine. I don't even know all the animals, right?
I,
You don't know all the animals. It's okay.
that what
Um,
I get what you're doing, and I understand it, right? And as at a certain point, each kid is different. They grow up different, right? My son, he's very shy, and
mhm,
some teachers don't understand that. They think the shyness is him not understanding. Oh, he
mhm,
needs extra help. Oh, he's not paying attention. But how do you know that? You don't live with the kid. I know him, and I will ask him questions, and even
yeah.
I'll ask him, "Are you doing your work?" He'll stay quiet. Stuff.
Mhm,
So that's the reason why I opened up to homeschooling, because when I grew up, I did what we all did, right? From kindergarten to 12th grade, graduated. But there's stuff that I told my wife that they never teach us. Like, how about money? There's
mhm.
what do they learn about money? What about investing?
None
Nothing.
of that.
How do you get a house? How do you get a job? And unfortunately, I've done a lot of research to a point where kids that go to college, and I take my hats off for those kids who go to college. But do you know the percentage of those kids that go to college that actually work on what they study?
Very few.
It's very low. It's at a 3%, and they just got a piece of paper and a debt to worry about.
And a lot of debt. Yeah. A lot of debt for
I
that
don't
piece of
want it.
paper.
I don't want that for my kids.
Right.
So I noticed that the school, they're sitting there. I asked him today, because he's still going to school, how much work did you do today? 2 pieces of paper in 8 hours.
Yeah.
In class for 2 pieces of paper. I mean,
No.
and to me, a sunny day, you should be outside. After you're done with your work, run around.
It's a huge waste of time. A
Yeah.
huge waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I feel like you see it. I feel like you see it. I feel like
I
you
do.
understand
It's
like
just a fear
why the
at
school systems
that's
work.
it. It's just a fear.
And the fear is going to be there, right? Like the fear is going to be there, and it's okay. Like give yourself permission to take action, even though you feel fear. I was when I first started unschooling my kids, I was legit terrified. Like terrified. I didn't know anyone else who was unschooling. I'd heard this idea. The idea really intrigued me, but my daughter was 5 and I was like, oh my gosh, I could literally be destroying her life forever. Like I could be the only reading teacher in the world with a kid who doesn't know how to read. Like that's embarrassing. I was a reading teacher. Um, but I did it scared. I did it scared. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to commit to do this unschooling thing for 1 year. And if at the end of the year I'm like, this is the worst year ever, this was terrible, this was a complete failure, then we can always make a change, right? I can always stick him back in school. We can always buy a curriculum. I can always start testing her like crazy, right? Like I can always go back and do those things. But I gave myself permission to experiment with these ideas for 1 year and to see how it went. And I will tell you, by the end of that year, not even, it wasn't even by the end of the year, probably I would say like maybe 4 months in, I was like, this is amazing. We are never going back. This is amazing. I wish every child could experience life and learning like this. It was the most incredible thing I've ever done. And that's why I do these conversations with you guys. So it is okay to feel afraid. It is I would be worried if you didn't feel afraid, to be honest, because you're making a big change. It's something new and different that most people aren't doing. That's scary. But give yourself permission to do it afraid.
All
Okay.
right.
And are they able, my other question was, are they able to apply at any college through the PAX Academy?
Of course. Yeah, actually, I saw someone ask a question about that. I saw Carol said, can high school students transfer to PAX Academy and will be awarded previous credits to be accepted by PAX? Yeah. Yeah. So you can, whenever you enroll in PAX Academy, we will actually get a transfer of your child's records from whatever school they were at before, and we'll transfer in any credits that we can. And then whenever they graduate, we will issue them their transcript and their diploma, which they can use to apply to any colleges that they want to go to. Another thing that we do that's really special is we actually have one-on-one college and career consultations. And that's something that is optional, but I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And that's literally what I've been doing all day today, is doing one-on-one consultations with high school students that are planning out, what do I want to do for my high school transcript, and we literally meet with you and your child one-on-one to custom create their high school education and help them. Like they're literally choosing how they want to create their educational experience for the next 4 years or however many years they're going to be here in high school. And it is such a cool thing to see, because literally with every single subject we go through literally one by one. English, how do you want to earn your English credit this year? Do you want to take a class online? Do you want to do an outschool class? Or are you going to take a class in person with your co-op? Do you want to take a college class? We have college partnerships. Our students in PAX Academy can actually start taking college classes and earning college credit beginning in 6th grade. In 6th grade, they can start taking college classes if they want to, right? Or do you want to custom create your own thing? Like if you're like, oh, I don't want to do a curriculum, I want to instead custom design my own English curriculum. I want to read 20 books on entrepreneurship. That would be a way better investment of your time. If you want to be a business person in the future, please read 20 books about entrepreneurship. That's way more valuable than Shakespeare, in my opinion. Like that would be a more valuable investment of their time. So we want them to pick, like, what are the books that I want to read? What are the things that are intriguing to me? I want to create my life in a way that makes me happy and feels fulfilling and works for what I need, you know?
So you actually answer my almost every question after elementary school. So I
Yeah.
know what it was going to be after like elementary. To me, elementary school, I think for every parent is easy, right?
Yeah.
So
The elementary piece is
you
easy.
know,
Yeah.
but then you get to the middle school part, and you're like, hey, I need you,
To
to.
do some stuff.
You're not gonna be, going outside every day and not doing anything. So I know it gets harder as it goes, but there
It
should.
does, but they're also older, right? And they're also, again, they're a part of that conversation. I will tell you, I met with teenagers today that were like, I want to go to college. And I'm like, awesome. You want to go to college? Okay, these are the things that you want to do now to prepare yourself for that. So these kids, even though math maybe wasn't their favorite thing in the world, they're like, I know that in order for me to go to college, I've got to learn some algebra. So like, okay, I'm going to take this online algebra class. They're choosing to take an online algebra class. Right. And then there are other kids that I met with today that were like, I might go to college in the future. I'm not sure. I really like the thought of algebra is like nails on a chalkboard for me. I don't want to do it at all. I'm like, fine, don't do algebra now. If you decide in 3 years that you want to go to college and you need to learn some algebra, you can learn it then. You don't have to do it right now. What do you want to do instead? And he was like, actually, I've been thinking about becoming a realtor. I want to take a math class about realtor math. awesome. We found an online class. It was a free class about how to be, do like realtor math. And so that's his math class for the year.
That's
He's
awesome.
taking a math about realtor math. That's way more important and valuable for him than a random algebra class. And
Yeah.
if he changes his mind that he wants to go to college in the future, then he can learn algebra. It's fine. But again, they're choosing what they're learning, when they're learning, where they're learning, how they're learning, and why they're learning. And so that's where, like, again, there's no resistance there, right? You're like, okay, math might not be my favorite, but I want to go to college, so I'm going to start working on algebra. Awesome. And then they do it, and they learn quickly, they learn really well, and you're not fighting with them about it.
Got you.
Mhm.
One
Totally
last question
different.
I think I have.
Yeah.
You know how we grew up in school and we always had a counselor. Do you guys provide counselor, or is that you, Miss Angela?
We do. So I have been the person who's been doing the college and career consultations all this time. I absolutely love doing those consultations. It's like one of
Oh,
my favorite things to do. If I could, like, I kid you not, I literally had 7 hour-long consultations today with high schoolers. Like that was literally my whole day today. And I love it. Every single one is so different. I love connecting with young people. I love hearing them talk about their passions. I love empowering them to create what they want to do every day. It is literally the best thing ever. And at the same time, there's a lot of you and only one of me. So I know that in order to continue like growing and serving the community, we actually just hired last week. We hired she's actually a friend of mine. Her name is Marta. She's a certified teacher just like me. She is originally from Spain, but she's been in the US for 25 years. She is also a published author. She's published multiple books about unschooling. She has 3 grown unschooled kids. 2 of them have already graduated. One is in college. Another one got a job as a senior editor at a publishing house. And her third is finishing up his career as an unschooler. Now he's finishing up high school. So she is going to be our new college and career counselor. So she'll take care of the high schoolers. And then we actually have 2 different people who are going to be in training as well to do the consultations for the elementary level. Although the elementary typically tends to be easier than the college is a little bit more complex. But yes, we do have college and career counselors. We have elementary level counselors. So anytime that you want or need additional one-on-one support, you can always book a consultation with someone from our team. I'm going to try to like back up a little bit from those consultations so that I can invest my time and energy in some other priorities that I have for right now. But yeah, you're in good hands with Marta though. She's absolutely amazing. And like I said, she's graduated 2 kids as unschoolers, and they're both out in the world and being successful and thriving. So you're in good hands with her.
But she's for the you said high school students.
Yep, she's for middle school and high school. And then we actually have 2 different people who are going to do the consultations for elementary school. One of them is Jose Carlos. He's doing the consultations in Spanish. He is also a certified teacher who is an unschooler. He's been unschooling his 3 kids, and they're all elementary school level and so he's going to do those in Spanish. And then we have another another certified teacher who became an unschooler. Her name is also Angela, like me. She's another really great friend of mine, and she's a certified teacher. She's been unschooling her son as well, who is also in elementary school right now. And so she's going to be doing the English consultations, and Jose Carlos will be doing the Spanish ones. So yeah, so that's our small but growing team.
Yeah.
And
cool.
who knows, maybe one of you one day will be able to be counselors in the future, where you can kind of take the knowledge and experience that you've learned and be able to help, facilitate those consultations for other families that are coming up in the future. I wish that I could do them all myself, because I really love and enjoy connecting with you guys one-on-one. I just yeah, my schedule, I gotta focus on some other priorities right now. So yeah.
Whoa, where do I sign up?
Uh, great question. So I saw someone said you can go to our website whenever you're ready to register. It's paxacademy.org. I'll put it in the chat for you. And so, yeah, you just go to our website. You can click on enroll. You literally can enroll at any point in time. Because you are here in Maryland, the nice thing is you just enroll in Pax Academy, and then you can just tell your school that you're going to withdraw them to be able to enroll them in a private school, which means that you don't have to wait 15 days like you normally do if you're homeschooling. I'm sorry, if you're homeschooling. And you don't have to fill out the notice of intent to homeschool form, none of that stuff. You just enroll with us, and then we take care of the rest. And then you, of course, tell the school, hey, we're going to withdraw my son. He's going to be transferring to a different private school. Bye. It's pretty easy.
We do let you know so you can take the rest, correct? Or they'll contact
What?
you. Do we have to let you know?
So
Contact they'll
yeah, so when you enroll in PAX Academy, so when you enroll in PAX Academy, you'll actually write down the name of the school that he's attending. And so once we get your application, my assistant will reach out and she will officially request the transfer of his records from his school. And so they'll send over those records to us and she'll handle, notifying the school that he is actually enrolled with us. You guys are complying with the state law by enrolling in our private school, and she'll facilitate the transfer of the records. And that's it. Super easy.
Okay. And besides all the, really nice discounts and stuff that, you guys offer, what what else do
Yeah.
you what other guidance do you provide? What other sources?
Let me show you. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry. Kind of give you like a behind the scenes look. So we are actually in the process right now of developing custom software. And so I'm crossing my fingers, within the next 6 months, we'll have a totally different like parent portal, student portal, all that kind of stuff. So this is going to look a little bit different, I hope, in the next like 6 months. But just so you kind of have an idea. Um, so when you log into PAX Academy, there's like a welcome video from me. We also have different courses. So we start off our year with what we call a not back to school night. And so basically this is a time when, most schools do back to school night, but we do a not back to school night, which is kind of fun. And so each of these, they're like 2 to 3 hours long. It's a pretty long, intensive presentation where I literally give you like the crash course on what does it mean to unschool in each of these different grade levels. And so, so I have one for elementary school in English and Spanish, a different one for middle school in English and Spanish, and then another one for the high schoolers in English and Spanish, and literally go through all the things. This is the course that I was telling you about. It's a course where I literally teach you everything about how to unschool from kindergarten through 12th grade. So in this course, it starts out with like a welcome to PAX Academy, some resources that you need about getting started, where I talk to you about your state's laws. I have a whole lesson all about deschooling, about your education plan and what that looks like. So that's something new we actually started this year, is actually creating our education plan at the beginning of the year, which has been so helpful in helping parents to think through like, what are the ideas that I have in my head of what I want to envision for my year? What are the things that my child wants to accomplish over the course of this year? And then I go through all of the different subject areas. So you can see these are all the 10 subject areas here that I cover. And in each of these, I give you like tips and tricks, the stuff that I've learned as a teacher. I teach it to you as a parent about how you can look for the learning that your children are doing, the different English language arts skills that you need to kind of be on the lookout for. So I think that's another big disconnect, is I think a lot of times, like because I'm a teacher, I have a background in education, I can look at the things that my children are doing and I can see the learning that they're doing because I know the standards, I know the objectives, I know all of that stuff already, just kind of from my experience as a teacher in the past. But I think a lot of parents don't do that, right? So like for most parents, when they see their kids playing Legos, they're like, oh, my kid is just playing Legos. But I don't just see my kid playing Legos. I look at my child playing Legos and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's building a castle and he's talking about moats, and like that's a part of history. Or he's like making a pattern with the blocks that he's doing. That's actually a math skill. Most people don't even know that patterns is a part of the mathematics curriculum, making patterns. Or they're telling a story with like the characters and they're acting it out and they've got dialogue and all this other stuff going on. That's an English language arts skill. Or he's doing, he's building this really complex structure, that's engineering, like principles of engineering and building, which is a science skill. So I look at my child playing Legos and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's doing English, math, science, social studies, art. Like he's got all this stuff happening. That's like a part of these different subject areas. Whereas like most parents would just be like, oh, he's just playing Legos. So I want to try to help you start to see those different kinds of things in the different subject areas. And then here I have a whole lesson all about transitioning to college and what that looks like, what you need to know about like getting your credits, how to transition to a university, testing options that you can do, information about our university partnerships so they can start doing dual enrollment. We have like various resources for every single state. So depending on the state you live in, there's tons of resources that are available for you. We got resources in Spanish. Yeah, and this one I just started building this unit now, but I'm going to start adding resources in as well for families that have children with special needs. So that is coming. That is coming. But yeah, so this is kind of like the course for the parents. And then let me go back real quick. And then you got tons of discounts as well that you can take advantage of. So like I said, you can get discounts on amusement parks, going to the aquarium, Canva, you can get that for free. We've got our weekly field trips through Peaceful World Schoolers. You can get discounts with HSLDA, sorry about that. And all different other kinds of, things that you can get discounts on. We have all of these discounts as well. So these are all of like the other discounts that we can do here. So we've got some discounts here at SeaWorld and Orlando Resort, Cirque du Soleil, Broadway tickets, AMC, we've got movie theater tickets, all kinds of stuff. So there's tons of different, I mean, you can look at all the different stuff here in any city and find cool stuff to do and get discounts on all of that stuff as well. So yeah, that's
Okay.
kind of like a behind the scenes, I guess. You could say, and like I said, it'll look a little bit different in 6 months, I hope. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Everyone?
Thank you for all that
Yes,
information.
that was very helpful.
You're very, very welcome. You're very welcome. And I'm excited for you guys to like start your journey. I think you are going to love it. By the end of this year, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. You will not regret spending more quality and quantity time with your kids. It is the best gift that you could give to them and yourself.
Yeah, we also see that you guys go on trips.
We do. Yeah, we have field trips that are happening every single week all over Maryland. Actually, I could show you guys that as well. Hold on. So hold on, let me pull this up here. So you're talking about Peaceful World Schoolers. So technically speaking, all of the Peaceful World Schoolers field trips are actually planned on behalf of PAX Academy. So they're actually PAX Academy field trips that we open up to other people as well. And the reason for that is that when we plan field trips, all of our coordinators are actually given a full scholarship to be enrolled in PAX Academy in exchange for their volunteering to plan the weekly field trips and stuff for all of you guys. And the reason for that is that when we plan field trips on behalf of PAX Academy, we're able to get additional discounts and benefits that aren't available to families that are just homeschoolers, because a lot of companies will offer certain special benefits for school field trips or school discounts. But again, it has to be a school that's doing it. And so that's why we plan the majority of our trips as a PAX Academy trip that we open up to everyone else. So if you would like to find your own Peaceful World Schoolers group, you can click here where it says start or join a local Peaceful World Schoolers group. And then this will take you to our map. So you can see these are all the states that we currently have coordinators for this current school year. We finished out our training for the coordinators in July of this year, and we do a training every year for new coordinators. So our training lasts for 8 weeks. It goes from June through the end of July. And we're actually accepting applications now for new coordinators. So if you are watching this video and you would like to open up a Peaceful World Schoolers group in your area, you can just click here and get more information about becoming a county coordinator or community coordinator rather, sorry. So for example, you guys live here in Maryland. That's where I live as well. Let me click here. So you can see here in Maryland, originally we had 8 different regions, and then our regions just grew really quickly. So now we actually have coordinators in almost every county, which you can see here. We've got Allegheny County, Anne Arundel County, Baltimore County, all the counties. And so to see what's going on in your county, for example, this is Lauren, she's the coordinator in Anne Arundel County. If you click on this little button here, this will give you our access to our Google Calendar. So you can see this is all the stuff that she's planned for Anne Arundel County. All kinds of really awesome stuff. So you can click on this one. This is a teen event. They're going to go to Tree Trekkers, which is the outdoor aerial park where they get to do like zip lining and all kinds of fun stuff with the teens. So this is a teen event specifically for the teens, but there's other ones as well. So you could click on any event. This one here, they're going to do like a park meetup at these different parks. Let me see. Yeah, they did some playground stuff. They're going to like Mayo Beach Park where they're going to go swimming. So all kinds of fun stuff is happening all over the place. And if the nice thing about this is that you can click on this part down here where it says add to Google Calendar, and it will literally add it to your own calendar on your phone. So when you open up your calendar on your phone, you'll be able to see all of the events that are happening in that area on the Google Calendar, which is awesome. So I highly recommend, if you've not done that yet, please make sure that you like click on your county's calendar and subscribe to the calendar so that you can see what's happening in your areas. And you can see we've got a couple, like we don't have anyone in Charles County. So if you live in Charles County, you can apply to be a coordinator. We'd love to have you. We need someone in Kent County as well, someone in Queen Anne's, someone in St. Mary's. So we've got some spots open still. But for now, you know, this is our team here in Maryland, and then we've got people in other areas as well. So yeah, that's Peaceful Worldschoolers.
All right.
All right. I saw some Deshana, sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. She said, can I enroll them even if I'm a part of Peaceful Worldschoolers? So they're actually two totally separate organizations. So either you're enrolled in PAX Academy or you're enrolled in Peaceful Worldschoolers. You can't be enrolled in both. So you would have to just pick one or the other. But like I said, the PAX Academy includes all of the benefits of Peaceful Worldschoolers plus all of the extra stuff as well. So yeah, you're welcome to switch over as well at any point in time. We have open enrollment in both Peaceful Worldschoolers and PAX throughout the whole year, so you can register whenever you like.
I'm Deshana Anderson.
Oh,
and
thanks, Shannon. Thank you.
to add on to that, so you have to pick one or the other, is what I'm understanding. Which one would I get the best experience with? Like, which one would be the one to actually pick? Because they both sound amazing. When I joined Peaceful Worldschoolers, I loved what you guys were telling me about the whole entire umbrella and how you help with the review process and all of that. But I'm loving what you just told the other couple about PAX Academy. So which one would you choose if you have to choose one?
They're both great. I mean, you really can't go wrong with either one. So for people who aren't familiar, just kind of backtrack. So Peaceful Worldschoolers is our homeschool umbrella. It is only for families that live in Maryland, whereas PAX Academy is for families from all 50 states and any country in the world. But Peaceful Worldschoolers, the umbrella is only for Maryland families. The other big difference is the price. So Peaceful Worldschoolers costs $100 per family per year. PAX Academy costs, now we're having a discounted rate, so it's $350 for one student, and right now we have a family discount of $600 for a family of up to 3 students. So PAX Academy does cost more, but like I mentioned, when you factor in all of those extra discounts that you can get, I mean, gosh, I think I told you guys, I was able to go on a cruise, a week-long cruise to Mexico with me, my best friend, and my 2 kids, and we paid $100 per person. It was $400 for us to go for an entire week. We saved over $2,000 on that one cruise with my PAX Academy teacher discount. I would not be able to do that if I was just in the umbrella. So yeah, so if you're taking advantage of all of like the discounts and benefits and things like that, absolutely, like you should be saving money by being in PAX Academy. The other big difference too is the review process, right? So with the umbrella, we have to do an annual review. We don't require you to do a portfolio, but we do have to do the review. Whereas with PAX Academy, because we're a private school, we don't do a review, but you do have to submit some sort of grades if you want us to give you a transcript. So that's another big difference, is because we're the ones that are making the transcript. I can't make a transcript if you don't tell me what your child did. You know, I'm not with you on a daily basis. So we have a form that you fill out and you tell me, for English, this is my child's grade. For math, this is my child's grade. For science, this is my child's grade. And then we put that onto our transcript. And then, so we're actually issuing the official transcript. But we, of course, need that data from you, because we're not giving them courses. Like, I don't have an algebra course that I'm going to make him do, if that makes sense. So you as the parent work to us, and then that's it. So that's another big difference between the two. But yeah, you really
when like if I decide to enroll, do I have to enroll at a specific time, or I can change at any time?
You can switch at any point in time. Yeah, we have year-round open enrollment for both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for asking. All right. So what do we do when we transfer from Peaceful World Schoolers to PAX? So if you transfer from Peaceful World Schoolers into PAX Academy, the process is really simple. You would just send me an email and let me know, like, hey, we're leaving Peaceful World Schoolers. We're going over to PAX. And then you'd also want to notify your county representative as well. Say, hey, we're leaving Peaceful World Schoolers. We're going to be transferring into a private school called PAX Academy. And then that's it. So someone said, oh, Alberta said, I just enrolled my son to PAX Academy in 9th grade. Do I do the career consultation with Martha? I didn't know who was the counselor. So Martha's new. I literally just hired her a week ago. So she's new to the PAX Academy family, which is great. So she's still in training. I actually just sent out an email 2 days ago, officially announcing her as the new college and career counselor for the high schoolers. And so right now, because she's still in training, I'm actually in the meetings with her until she feels like comfortable with like our systems and all of our stuff that we have to do on the Paxis Academy part of things. And then once she feels comfortable, then I will drop out of those meetings and she'll kind of take over everything. So I would say if you book a consultation with her within the next 2 weeks, you will probably have the benefit of having both of us on those calls. So you'll get like the 2-for-1 bonus there that you get to have 2 certified teachers in this consultation with you, talking about your child's plan for graduation and what's going to come after for them. So yeah, so if you can book within the next 2 weeks, you'll get both of us. If you book after that, it will probably be just her. She was leading consultations today by herself and was just amazing. I mean, she has so much knowledge and resources, and again, her own personal experience because she's done this. She's graduated kids. I have experience from helping other people graduate, but my oldest is 11 and my youngest is 7, and so I still got some ways to go before I can actually speak from my own personal experience of like, oh, this is what my personal experience was graduating my kids as unschoolers. So I love that Marta brings her own personal experience actually having done that. Which is so special for our community. So grateful to have her. It says I couldn't log in earlier. Is this recording going to be available? Yes. So I record all of these meetings and I publish them on my YouTube channel. So in case you missed something from the beginning, no worries. You can always go back and watch it later. Carol Ann said, if the person is homeschooled, will the records credits from the umbrella group be accepted? Yeah, so if you were previously homeschooled and you're transferring into PAX Academy, the way that works is if they're in preschool through 8th grade, the records are not as important in those grades. So typically speaking, whenever you're transferring, and this applies even to public school, I called some public schools and I told them, I was like, hey, my daughter's going into 6th grade. She's been unschooled. I have no records for her. She's never had a grade, never done a curriculum, never done a workbook, never done anything. How does she go to school? How can I enroll her in school? I was curious, like, how does that work? And every person that I talked to, they were like, oh, you just enroll her based on her birth date. And I was like, but you don't understand. I have no records for my kids. I'm like, they've never gotten a grade ever, never done a workbook, never done a worksheet. And she was like, yeah, that it's okay. Like we just stick them in the grade that they're supposed to be in based on their age. I was shocked. I was like, oh, that's it? She was like, yeah. They said that some schools might do like a placement test for them, but the funny thing is the placement test isn't actually for their placement. So for example, like my daughter is supposed to be in 6th grade. If my daughter were to test in 1st grade math, for example, they're not going to put my daughter in 1st grade. Right. So the placement test isn't actually for their placement. It's more for their general knowledge. And they said they typically just put them in the grade that they're supposed to be in based on their age and then try to work with them. And I could totally see that too, because as a public school teacher, I had graduating seniors that were reading on a 1st and 2nd grade level. So even though they were graduating seniors in public school about to get a diploma, their reading level literally said 2nd grade on their reading assessments from the public school system. So I don't know. So yeah, so typically speaking, in kindergarten and through 8th grade, we typically just place them in the grade that they would be in based on their age. And then once they get to high school, that's where things get a little bit different, right? Because high school is no longer age-based, instead it is credit-based. So in order for your child to receive credits at the high school level, we do have to have some sort of a transcript. So if they were previously homeschooled, you as the parent can make that transcript. If you're not sure how to do that, or if you need help with that, you can always register your child and then book the college and career consultation with us, and we will help you with making that transcript one-on-one. All right, Amanda said, I was super nervous about making the jump to homeschooling, unschooling, but the more information I learned from Angela's videos, we decided to jump in. The PAX parent course has been super helpful. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for sharing that, Amanda. I'm glad that you took the time to do it. I think there's like a lot of information in there. It's a lot of information, and I'm open to feedback. I was thinking if like I should break it up into smaller chunks, because I think sometimes when people see, they're like, oh my gosh, there's so much here. It can feel overwhelming, and I definitely don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed, but I'm glad that you found that the course was helpful, and resources and things like that. Michelle said, are Canva, ABC Mouse, and other discounts available for Peaceful World Schoolers as well? No, unfortunately. So in order to be able to have access to Canva and ABC Mouse and things like that, you do have to have a teacher email account, and the teacher email account has to be set up with an actual private school that has been verified through the whole Google accounts for education. It's a whole long process. It literally took me months to like go through all the things that I had to do to be able to get us like set up to do this. So no, you can only take advantage of those discounts if you are in PAX Academy. Deshana said, can I participate with other counties near me? And I saw Micah answered her question and said, yes, that is true. So we call ourselves Peaceful World Schoolers for a reason. I don't want you limited to your little corner of the world. I really do want you to go explore the world. So if you see something cool happening in Baltimore, go to Baltimore. If you see something cool happening on the Eastern Shore, go to the Eastern Shore. If you see something cool happening in New Jersey, go to New Jersey. All right. Or if you want to, even if you want to, if you see something really cool happening with us on a cruise in May, you can join us in the cruise in May. Or if you want to, you could join us next year. We're going to be doing a community service trip in Guatemala. Join us in Guatemala. Please do not stay in your own little corner of the world. Get out and explore the world. It's a beautiful place. Yes, I saw Carolina said she's in Montgomery County and signed up for local field trips too. Yes, absolutely. All right, I see Heidi said, to do unschooling, do you have to leave world schooling and being PAX, or can you do unschooling with both? So you can do unschooling without being in anything. Like, you don't have to be enrolled in a program to be an unschooler. Unschooling is a philosophy. It is a lifestyle. You don't have to be enrolled in anything to be an unschooler. But what I will say is your life is a lot easier when you're unschooling through a program like Peaceful World Schoolers at PAX Academy. So like if I just was unschooling under the homeschooling, like under the county supervision, right? I would have to present a portfolio to the county and have someone from the county review what I'm doing. And I could be playing Russian roulette, because who knows if the person who's gonna be my reviewer is gonna hate unschooling, understand the philosophy, agree with the philosophy. I don't know. And I've seen that happen where even with families that aren't unschoolers. I had a mom that joined Peaceful World Schoolers because the county person, I don't know if she woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or I don't know what happened to her, but she got the lady who was cranky and just was like, no, this isn't enough. Your daughter's doing third grade math and she should be doing fourth grade math. And it's like, well, no, the law doesn't say that. It just says she has to do math. It doesn't say she has to do grade level math. She's not on grade level math yet. She's doing a lower grade level math. So even though she was using a curriculum and all this other stuff, they still said that she was not compliant, which is crazy. They were threatening to remove her right to homeschool her kids because her child was low in math. And the funny thing is, her mom pulled her out of school because she was getting behind in all of these subjects, because the school wasn't meeting her needs in the first place. And I'm just like, she was behind, if there was such a thing as behind. There's no such thing as behind. She's behind before she even started homeschooling, right? Like, I don't know, the whole thing is just crazy. So, could you unschool under the county supervision and doing a portfolio? Sure, you could. I could send pictures of us going to the Science Museum in Colonial Williamsburg and seeing the Mayan ruins in Guatemala and doing all the cool stuff that we do. Sure, I could send them pictures of all that stuff. But do I need that kind of stress in my life? No. I don't need, I don't know. I don't know if you could tell. I'm deeply committed to like having peace in my life, which is why we call ourselves peaceful world schoolers. I do not need any extra stress in my life. I really do try to live in peace at all times. And so, yeah. So can you unschool without being in a program? Yes. Is it a million times easier to do it under an umbrella or under PAX Academy that understands unschooling? 1,000%. All right, Deshana says, is it Deshana or Deshana? I'm sorry, I want to make sure I'm saying your name right. Can you unmute yourself and tell
It's
me how to
like
say it again?
Day outside and Shanna. Day Shanna.
Deshana. Okay,
Yes.
Deshana. I'm gonna get it. Deshana. Okay. All right, Deshana said, does PAX keep grades and make the transcripts for the student, or where they only instruct the parent on how to do that? No, we actually do that. So we create the
Okay.
transcripts. We create, the only thing we get from you is the data, right? So you tell me,
Okay.
this year my kid did algebra 1 and they did physical education and they played the piano and they learned some biology. You tell me the courses and the grades and I put it all together and make it look beautiful and professional, and I sign our stamp on there that says it's an accredited transcript, and there you go.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Heidi said, I just signed up with you guys. I love it. I hate the county review so much. I did not know I could do an umbrella. Okay, good. I'm glad you signed up with us. Yay to never having to deal with the county review again. It is like seriously unneeded stress. Nobody needs that. Carolyn said, will we send the transcripts to colleges? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So we actually just got our partnership deal with Parchment, and Parchment is, oh, hold on. Sorry, TikTok thinks I went to sleep. Give me a second. So we actually just got our partnership deal with Parchment, and Parchment is the largest, it's the second largest actually, it's the second largest transcript service provider. So basically the way that colleges are accepting transcripts nowadays, they don't want them directly from the high school themselves. They actually want it through like a third party. And so Parchment is that third party. So basically what they do is they securely send transcripts directly from us to the college or university. It's something that they do instantaneously, which is great. And you literally can go back 20 years from now and they keep your transcripts on file so you can send them wherever you want to send them immediately, which is fantastic. So we love Parchment. I'm super excited that we literally just launched Parchment 2 weeks ago. So yes, we do send them to colleges and universities and all that other stuff. Yeah. Donna said, we just moved from a state that required a portfolio review or testing. We chose the portfolio, and it was always stressful being reviewed by a public school teacher. Yes, there were a few misunderstandings, and we're now with PAX Academy. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you guys made the switch, and I hope that you will enjoy having a little bit more peace in your life this year, not having to deal with that. Awesome. Thank you, Donna, for being a part of PAX Academy. All right, anybody else have any other questions about homeschooling, unschooling, world schooling?
I have a question.
Yes.
So when they apply for college and they have to do the placement test, what happens if they're not ready for that placement test?
Then they study.
Because I'm not a teacher. But
You don't have to be.
you know how math is all crazy in school, right? Like algebra,
Yeah.
geometry. I'm just scared that, they will not meet that level of math.
Yep. That was a big concern that I had as well when I first started unschooling, because at the time my daughter was little and I was teaching algebra 2. Don't ask me how that happened. I was teaching algebra 2 at a public high school against my will. I was like, I think I got a C in algebra 2 when I did this 20 years ago. I'm like, I don't know. But that was where they stuck me. So that's what I did. They put me in an algebra 2 class to support the special education students. And it was so funny. I told my like supervising teacher, I was like, you do realize that I don't know anything about algebra 2, and you want me to teach this class to these high school boys? And she was like, yep, you don't have to know it all. You just have to be one day ahead. And that was my motto that year. I was like, I will be one day ahead. And I was literally the night before, I was like, let me teach myself how to graph a quadratic function because I don't know how to do that. And I will tell you something. When I was teaching myself how to do algebra 2 to teach it to those kids, I absolutely fell in love with it. 20 years later, after never doing math, never doing any formal math in 20 years, I picked up algebra 2 and was like, bam, this is easy. This is awesome.
Yeah.
But that being said, that was one of my big questions. I was like, how exactly does that work? And so
Yeah.
what I started doing is I actually interviewed a bunch of different grown unschoolers and I asked them 2 questions. I asked them, number one, how did you learn how to read without being taught? And number two, how did you learn all the math that you needed to learn to go to college without being taught? Because nobody is graphing quadratic functions out in the real world for fun. Like nobody's doing that. And I'm like, I recognize that you can't unschool geometry. Like
Mm-hmm. Right.
you just can't. Like you can't unschool calculus, you know? It's like
Yeah.
no one's doing
That's
it. And so that was a big concern of mine. And I kid you not, Esperanza, every single grown unschooler that I interviewed, I asked them those 2 questions. Every single one of them said that they learned how to read completely naturally without ever being taught. And they said that they learned 13 years of math. They didn't do any formal math until they were actually like interested in going to college, where they knew they were like, okay, this is the next kind of step in my path, is like going to college. And so in order to go to college, I have to learn some algebra. In order to learn some algebra, I got to study this. And then they would decide however it was that they wanted to study algebra. They would do Khan Academy, or they would hire a private tutor, or they would go to Barnes and Noble and sit and read the Algebra for Dummies book in Barnes and Noble. Like they just would figure out their own way to learn the content at that time. And every single one of them said it took them 6 months or less.
okay. Wow. That's amazing.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
And when I heard them say that, I was like, are you joking? Like, do you really mean to tell me that you did zero formal math for your entire life, and now as a 16-year-old kid, you taught yourself algebra enough to go to college, and you did it in less than 6 months with no math before that? And they were like, yep.
Wow.
And one of the girls that I interviewed, she said she didn't do any formal math at all until she had to take a math placement test. She said she studied for 2 weeks before taking this math placement test. And when she took the placement test, they placed her in sophomore level college math.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is crazy. And I mean, it's like you hear one person, you do that and you're like, maybe you're some kind of like freak genius that, whatever. I've interviewed easily over 100 different grown unschoolers. Easily.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one said 6 months or less. And it just like, it blows my mind. And I'm like, so you really mean to tell me, like, I've literally watched parents destroy their relationship with their kids over math as a teacher for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Like decades. I can tell you how many parents literally destroy their relationship with their kids over fighting about math homework with their kids every day. I'm like, you mean to tell me that they didn't have to do any of that? And they could have learned all that same math in 6 months or less if we just let them be and enjoy their life and then learn it when they had a reason to learn it?
Yeah.
What the heck are we doing? You know?
Yeah. Is
Right?
there curriculums up there that are free for us to? Yeah.
Khan Academy is free.
Is there one that you recommend?
Khan Academy is free.
Which one?
Khan Academy is free.
Oh, okay.
You know Khan Academy?
Yeah, I think I heard of it.
Yep, Khan Academy is free. You can come here and see. They have Explorer. They have everything from preschool all the way through 12th grade. You got here high school and college math. They literally have free courses, even for college math, if you want to do college math.
Okay.
Another great
That's
place
nice.
to get free courses is Modern States. Modern States, these are free courses that will prepare you to take the CLEP exam. The CLEP exam is the college level examination program.
Mm-hmm.
These are free courses. Once they finish taking these free courses,
Mm-hmm.
they'll give you a voucher, which is a coupon code, so that you can use to be able to register for the CLEP exam totally free.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Literally taking college credits for free with these free courses. Another good one is edX. Actually, hold on. It's not going. Hold on. So this is an edX course, and actually I'm going to drop this one for free as my free gift to you all. This is a course called UCubed. It used to be called UCubed. It's a course designed by Stanford, but it's a course about how to learn math for students. This is such a powerful course. I highly recommend that every adult, even every kid, every adult take this class. It literally goes through like the mindset that we have around math, because so many kids, like their mindset when it comes to math is terrible. like legit terrible. Like their perception of math is that math is difficult, math is hard, math is too hard for me, math is like complex, I don't get it. It's overwhelming, it's stressful. Like so many of us have like terrible associations with math. And this is a free course that helps you kind of like figure out your mindset and like address your mindset when it comes to math. So highly recommend this one. But edX here, they have free college courses available that you could take free college courses here. And then also within that PAX Academy course, remember that I showed you like all the different subject areas.
Yeah.
For every subject area, if you click on there, I have curriculum and resources. You click on that link within the lesson, and there's hundreds of resources there that you can explore.
Okay.
I try to like find as many stuff as I can, but you're not limited to just what I have in that course. So if you
Mhm.
find an awesome resource that your son loves, do it. Do
Yeah.
it. You can
Okay.
use whatever resource you want to support your child in their education. Whatever. Like
Yeah.
the buffet is unlimited.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome. All right. Let me see.
I have a question, Angela.
Yes, Heidi.
So just we've been homeschooling for a minute now, and some of the stuff that you said was so true about the stress with the county and everything else about you. I have three boys, so one of them is okay sitting, but the other one he's so smart, but sitting is not his thing. So I saw the unschooling video for you today, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do unschooling or not, but let me listen to it. So far, me and my husband were like, this sounds like perfect thing for us. But I do have a question or just a confirmation. So you said to be able to homeschool, and we already are under your umbrella. In order for
Mhm.
us to homeschooling, we could just start now and also like with your kids, how did you figure out that they were not really getting behind? Were there something specially that you did, or it was just based on observation?
So there is no such thing as behind. Like I really want you to get that that is literally an idea that somebody made up.
Got
I
you.
know it's hard for us to wrap our mind around. Like it's really hard to wrap our mind around. Let me give you an example. My daughter is 11, right? I know that my daughter does not know how to divide a fraction. Right? Like if I were to say like, Sophia, divide this whole page of fractions, she'd be like, what? Like she does not know how to do that. Now, in the eyes of the school, she would be behind, right?
Right.
Because in school she should have learned how to divide a fraction when she was in 4th grade. Should I be worried that my daughter does not know how to divide a fraction?
I don't know. That's
No,
the
I
that's
really want you to tell me. I want you to tell me. Should I like talk to me as like a human being? Should I be worried that my 11-year-old daughter does not know how to divide a fraction? Should that be
no,
something that should be like, oh no,
no. I don't think so.
no, no, right? Do you know how to divide a fraction?
No, really, except for pizza.
Okay, yeah, I can divide a pizza too. I can divide a
Right.
pizza, right? Like if there's something that your child doesn't know, the only thing that that means is that that skill has not shown up in their actual life yet. That's it. That's all it means. It does not mean that she's behind some random arbitrary thing that says your child has to learn dividing fractions because they turn 9. Somebody made that up. Right? There's nothing in reality that says your child has to learn the water cycle when they're 5 and the rock cycle when they're 7. And if they don't learn the water cycle when they're 5 and the rock cycle when they're 7, they're gonna be behind. Behind what? Behind who? Behind who? Right? Think about if we were to have that same mentality with us as adults, right? Like I'm in grade 37. Do you have a house yet? You're in grade 37. Do you have a mortgage yet? Oh my gosh, you don't have a mortgage and you're in grade 37. You're behind. No. Like that sounds crazy, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Like you don't own your own business yet? You're in grade 45. You should have started your business in grade 40. You're behind. You don't have 100,000 in your bank account yet? You're in grade 50. You're behind. Like, no, like somebody just made up these random metrics that like your kid has to know this because they're this age. That's ridiculous. There's no deadline for learning. If your child wants to learn about the rock cycle when they're 5, great. If they want to learn about it when they're 15, great. If they're never interested in learning about the rock cycle, also great. It's okay. Not everyone has to know all the things. I don't know all the things. You don't know all the things. My kid doesn't have to know all the things.
That's true. Well, that answers a lot of questions without answering it directly. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking the question.
Yes.
Donna said, no, when have you ever in life needed that skill? No, truly. I was literally thinking about it. I was like, when was the last time I ever had to actually divide a fraction in my real life? I honestly don't know. Like, I legitimately don't know. And if I ever did, right? Like, let's say one day I had some random scenario that it was like, I have to divide 3/8 into 9/11 for some reason, right? Like if I divide this fraction for some reason, like I have a calculator that could do it, right? I've got a tool in my hands that could do it correctly every time. I don't have to take up my brain space to remember how to do something when I have a tool that can do it immediately and correctly every time. So, and even for us, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but the SAT, you literally can use a calculator on every section of the SAT now. Like, there's no reason for your kids to like be memorizing all these like formulas and all this. No, like they literally like they can use a calculator. It's okay. It's a tool. We could teach them how to use the tool when they need it. And if they don't need to use the tool, then they don't, and that's okay. Yeah. All right. Oh my gosh, I just saw the time. I know we went a little over our time. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Hi,
I
Angela.
would,
It's Michelle, can
hey,
you?
hey, Michelle. Yes, I can hear you.
I thought it came through. I put the question in the chat
Oh, I
earlier,
might have
but
missed it.
no, it's okay. Does PAX Academy offer like Spanish courses, or do you have any recommendations, for like what you would use to teach a 6-year-old kid like Spanish? Well, and myself, because I clearly don't speak Spanish yet, and I would love for both of us to be bilingual, with
That's
Spanish. I,
awesome.
I actually have, work. I'm a maternity nurse, and I have a really large population of,
Yes, you
Hispanic.
do.
Yeah, and I
So fun.
understand some Spanish, but I want to be conversational, and I also want my daughter, to be conversational as well. So,
Yeah. I
what do
love
you?
that question. Spanish is like my not so secret passion. I love Spanish. I love everything about Spanish. I love everything about Latinos. I am like the biggest wannabe Latina. Like I wish I was Hispanic so bad. Yeah, so actually, so how can you learn Spanish as a 6-year-old? So my daughter is actually learning Spanish. She loves Duolingo. She enjoys doing that. Duolingo is a great tool. I'm trying to think what else. So through PAX Academy, we also offer IXL. IXL is a curriculum, and they offer English, math, science, social studies, and Spanish as a part of the curriculum. So we actually give you a 50% discount on that. It's $80 for the whole year for all 5 subjects. But that's like the school kind of Spanish, if that makes sense. And they only do like Spanish 1, which would be the high school level. But typically at that age, one of the best ways that you can learn Spanish is try to give yourself as much immersion as possible. So for example, like put Bluey in Spanish on your TV. Watch Frozen in Spanish, Put the subtitles on in Spanish, listen to some music in Spanish. You can look up on YouTube, look up covers of her favorite songs in Spanish. And the more you can just kind of give yourself that immersive experience in Spanish, the better. Singing is an awesome way to learn another language because it really helps with your pronunciation, things like that. I know you said that you're a labor and delivery nurse. I have to tell you a funny story. I know this is kind of random. So when I was 16 years old, I actually got certified to be a CNA, and I was working and doing like my rotations in the hospital for part of our training. And I loved the labor and delivery floor. And on the labor and delivery floor, we were working in Holy Cross, which is like there we also had a lot of like Hispanic and Latina patients. And I was the only person on the whole floor that could speak Spanish. And keep in mind, I was like 16-year-old, punk kid, like I was just a kid, that was in there, and I would help them with like little, checking the vitals or holding the babies, all the fun stuff that we did on that side of the stuff. And one day they like ran in, one of the nurses from labor and delivery, she like ran in, and I was in there like holding a baby, and she was like, "Angela, you speak Spanish, right?" And I was like, I've got like 2 years of high school Spanish and some like, my own independent study that I've done, but yes, I know more than the rest of you. And she was like, "We need you. We need you, come here." So she like pulled me in to like the labor and delivery side. And so I go into the labor and delivery room, and I walk into the room, and I can, even before I get in the room, I could hear this lady like screaming bloody murder at the top of her lungs. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what the heck is happening?" And I go into the room. I'll have to delete this from the recording, but the lady's legs are up, and the head is coming out. The lady is screaming like crazy, and I am like, "What on this was my birth control class for the day." It was terrifying, and the lady screaming, no one could understand what she's saying. And so I'm like trying to translate as she's like screaming about how she's in pain, and she didn't have family there, and she didn't speak English, and she was freaking out, and she didn't know what the doctors were saying, and it was hurting her so bad, and all the stuff that's happening while you're going into labor. And the nurse is like, "I need you to tell her to push." Like, that was not in my high school Spanish class. Like, I have no idea how to say push. And so I'm like in this stressful moment here. I'm looking at this lady. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, they're telling me to tell her to push. I have no idea how to say that in Spanish." So I look to the charge nurse, and I'm like, "Go find a door." I was like, "Please go find a door and read to me whatever's on the door. Like, go look." And so they like leave the room, and she goes and she finds the door, and she comes back and she goes, "Empuja, empuja." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it is empuja." And from that day, I have never forgotten how to say push. So just so you know, it is empuja. But that was the most stressful like 5 minutes of my life. I was like, "Oh my Lord, I do not know how to say push." They did not teach me this in my high school class. But all that to say, you will learn Spanish very well in an immersive situation when you have to like actually use the language in real life circumstances. So yeah, so I hope that you will, for if you need it, that's a good one for labor and delivery. Remember, empuja, push, it will all come out and it will work out. But man, that was a fun experience for me. Anyways, so yeah, the more you can do immersive experiences, the better. If you are able to, we are actually doing a trip to Guatemala next year, in September. And so if you can join us for that trip, it is $1,900 per person. It is all inclusive. So that includes flights, all the airfare, all of our hotels, all of our food, all of our in-country transportation, all the things is covered. And it's going to be a life-changing trip for sure. I'm going to be there with my kids. They're 11 and 7. We've got a couple other families that have signed up, and they've got kids of all different kinds of ages. So if you are able to come to Guatemala with us, we would love to have you. I can drop the link for that trip in the chat if you're able to check it out. But yeah, traveling and being immersed in the language and the culture is one of the best ways to learn, hands
What is
down.
the price, Angela, per person?
The Guatemala trip is $1,900 per person, and again, that is all inclusive. It covers everything.
What about the cruise? I know you guys are doing a cruise.
Yes, we are doing a cruise to in that website as well. It also includes the cruise. So the cruise is with Royal Caribbean. I'll share my screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at. So this is our travel with us page here. So this is the cruise that we're going to be doing. We are going with Royal Caribbean. I don't know if you can see this boat.
Yeah, I can.
The boat is the vacation, honestly. No, we're going to be going to 3 different countries. We're going to be going to Saint Martin, to Puerto Rico, and to Haiti. But truly, you could literally never even get off the boat and have an incredible vacation and not see and do everything that there is to do here on this boat. This is the biggest and best ship in the entire world. They literally have the largest water park at sea. They have a rock climbing wall. They have what they call an aqua dome theater where they do like Cirque du Soleil diving. I don't even know what they do with
Yeah.
all of that. They do Broadway shows on this boat in particular. They're doing The Wizard of Oz, which is great for like a kid-friendly show. They've got tons of different restaurants and buffets and bars and pools and hot tubs and an arcade, and they have an escape room, and they have a zip line that takes you off over the side of the boat, which I will not be doing because that is not my thing.
Right.
But I'm sure the kids will enjoy that. Yeah, so tons of different things that you guys can do on the boat. Because this is the newest and the biggest and the best ship in the world right now, this cruise is more expensive than most cruises. Normally it costs $2,000 per person to do this, around $2,000 per person for this one. But this cruise is also kids get to sail for free. So kids under the age of 13 are able to sail for free if they're the 3rd and 4th person interested in that. So if you want to join us for the cruise, let me know, and I can send you guys a quote based on like the number of people that you want in your room, and of course the kind of room that you want. So like if you want a balcony room, those are more expensive than like the inside rooms without a
We are
balcony.
on that one. So where do I ask for the quote for that?
Okay.
Or
You can just text me like the names and the dates of birth for the people that are going, and then I'll send you a quote. I will say though, the prices do go up as it gets closer to the date of sale because the rooms are starting to sell out. So the faster that you can get in your deposit, it costs $250 per person to hold the deposit. And then you can pay the balance off in February. So you have time before you actually have to like make the final payment, and you can set up monthly payments if you want. But you do have to do the 250 to be able to like save your price so it won't keep going up.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's that one. And then this is the Guatemala trip that we're going to be doing. So this will be next year. We're going to Guatemala in September. And then in 2027, we're going to be doing a guided tour of Japan. So this one also would be an awesome opportunity. Your students can, if they are enrolled in PAX Academy, they can earn high school and college credit for all of these trips. And they can also earn community service hours for this one. All right, any other questions? No other questions?
Oh, thank you for all the information.
Right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on a Wednesday night. It's so great to see so many moms and dads even that are like really thinking about how to improve their child's life and their educational experience. You all are the real rock stars. So thank you guys for being here. Yeah, if you have any other questions, I do this every month, like I said. Most of you, I think, have my cell phone number, so feel free to text or call. Or you can register for the next Zoom. I'd love to see you guys and hang out again. And yeah, oh, Carolyn said very informative. Thank you. I'm so glad to hear that. Yes. Yeah, please let me know if you found that tonight's conversation was valuable or helpful for you. I love to get feedback. Words of affirmation is my love language. So feel free to let me know if you found that this conversation was helpful. Thank you guys. All right, so if no one else has questions over here, I'm going to take a couple questions from the people on TikTok. Hey, everybody watching on TikTok, let me know. Are there any? Let me see if scroll and see if there are any questions here. All right, I see someone said, hi, my daughter's in preschool. She has a speech delay and epilepsy. I want to homeschool. I'm afraid. Oh, first of all, I want you to know, like, you do not have to be afraid. You have already been homeschooling your children. From the moment that your kids were born, they have been living and learning at home with you. It is not something scary, or it shouldn't be something that's scary. It's something that is very natural that all of us have already done. And the nice thing is, because your daughter is in pre-K, you don't even have to worry about officially legally homeschooling for another couple years, depending on the state that you're in. So yeah. All right, Alberta says, I'm excited for my son starting with PAX Academy. Awesome. Gail said, thank you. Are we getting the recording? Yes, if you are on my email list, I will be sending out the recording via email afterwards. I have to be able to like download it, upload it and go through all these processes, and I'm actually going to go to bed now. So so that will be something that I have to do tomorrow, because I have literally been talking all day today. So I'm tired of talking. But I will probably send it out like later this week would be my guess, realistically. Yeah. All right, let me see. Any other questions from over here on TikTok? Hey, Vicky. Oh, thank you so much. Blessings to you and your family as well. Thank you for being here in the live. All right, any other questions from the TikTok world? Time for... Hey, Julio, how are you? Oh my gosh, qué gusto verte por acá. If you guys do not follow Julio, please make sure that you follow him. He is a PAX Academy family member, and he and his family, he and his family have been traveling the world in their RV, and they go to different places and try out different like family-owned restaurants, and they get a chance to like travel and pray for the people and share about their businesses. And yeah, Julio, I love what you guys do. I think that's so cool. I every time I watch your videos, I'm like, I am living vicariously through you. If you look on TikTok, his name is Julio the Fudio. Actually, Julio, what is your what is your, I don't know, what do they call it? What is your tag? What do they call it on TikTok? I can't think right now. What do they call it? Oh my gosh, do you do software development? I need you. I need you in my life. Okay, yes. Okay, so he said, sorry, someone in the thing is asking. So his thing is Julio the Fudio. Yeah, so he's, like I said, he's a PAX Academy family, and they travel full time in their IV with their family, and they have such a precious family, and they share all their videos and everything. All right, how early can I start the process with PAX? My child is still in school and will be done next week. Awesome. So with PAX Academy, you literally can enroll at any point in time. Oh, next year. Okay, so you actually can pull your child out and start homeschooling at any point in time. You can, okay, Julio, we will connect. We will connect. Yes, so you can pull your kids from school at any point in time, and you can start homeschooling at any point in time. You do not have to wait for the end of the year to start homeschooling. You literally could do it like tomorrow. You could go into school tomorrow and be like, we're done with this. I'm going to withdraw my child. Bye. And that's it. Super, super easy. La Chelita said, how does PAX Academy work? So PAX Academy is a private school for unschoolers, which means we provide the legal covering of being enrolled in a private school with the freedom to unschool your kids, which basically means that your children will have the freedom to learn what they want, when they want, where they want, how they want, and why they want. I think I try to emphasize that as much as possible, because sometimes I will get a parent who will, like, I don't know, just like enroll in PAX Academy and not read the website, and then they send me messages and they're like, when are they going to start their classes? And I'm like, no, this is not that. This is not that. We don't directly offer classes to students. We don't directly offer classes to students. Again, because we specialize in unschooling, we help you custom create your child's own educational experience, and that is going to be unique to them. And most of the time, that does not involve using a curriculum or taking a class. Now, sometimes, like I said, we do occasionally have unschoolers who do choose to take classes, and they can. But those classes are not offered through PAX Academy, because there are so many free and incredible resources out there already available that I really am not I'm not interested in reinventing the wheel. So rather than me taking my valuable time and effort and energy to create an online class, I would rather point you to the resources that already exist, that are already amazing. And so that's a big part of what we do. Yeah, so that's kind of how it works. When you enroll in PAX Academy, you are free to educate your child in whatever way that you believe is best, and then you report to us the courses and the grades that you would like to assign to your child, and then we use that to prepare their transcript and their diploma and things like that. Hola, una pregunta, ¿se puede estar en ese programa si estoy en California? Sí, tenemos a muchas familias que están en PAX Academy que también viven en California. Are the classes free, and when a pay for PAX Academy? So there are literally thousands of classes available. Hay miles de clases que están disponibles si quieren tomarlas. Hay clases gratis, hay cursos en línea pagados. Todo depende de la clase que tu hijo quiere tomar y cómo lo quiere tomar. Si quiere recursos gratis, recursos hay. Si quiere recursos pagados, también recursos hay. Entonces, pero las clases no son de parte de PAX Academy, sino que nosotros somos como el buffet. Te podría decir así. Nosotros somos como el buffet, donde proveemos un montón de diferentes recursos, herramientas, cosas así, pero nada es obligatorio. None of it is like, you're not forced to use any particular resource or curriculum or anything like that. You can choose whatever works best for your child. Anything. You literally can use whatever resource. If your child wants to learn through watching YouTube videos, they can. If your child wants to learn through watching documentaries on Netflix, they can. If your child wants to learn through reading manga books, they can. If your child wants to learn through Khan Academy, which is a free online curriculum, they can. If your child wants to learn through doing field trips, they can. If your child wants to learn through doing their own experiments in the house, they can. If they want to learn through playing video games, they can. If they want to learn through playing sports, they can. If they want to learn through traveling the world, they can. Literally anything that your child wants to do can be converted into academic credit. Everything. Every single thing. You name any activity in the world, and that activity could be converted into academic credit. Entonces, PAX Academy no está atento en la asistencia de los niños. ¿Cómo así? O sea, nosotros reportamos asistencia. Para nosotros, la asistencia es 100%. Si tu hijo está despierto y si está vivo, está aprendiendo. Está presente, aprendiendo todos los días. No hay ni siquiera un día que se va a pasar que no va a aprender algo. Los niños aprenden todos los días, todo el día. Para nosotros, la asistencia es 100%. Yeah. Does that make sense? ¿Me entiendes? Sé que esto es algo muy diferente a lo que la mayoría de personas están acostumbrados. Gail said, can we order books through PAX Academy? What do you mean, order books? So, like, order, what do you mean, order books? The best way to get books is from your library.
Okay, I mean, if we
They're
want to
free.
buy like reading books, okay. Like maybe
We don't
science
sell,
books. Okay.
yeah, we don't sell reading, like, we don't sell books. We don't sell like curriculum in that sense. Yeah. So like, for example, like I would start with your library, right? Like your library has tons and tons and tons of free books available. You don't have to buy anything. Anything that your child could possibly like want to learn, they could find it at the library or online. I promise. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? No other questions? All right. Well, in that case, if there are no other questions on TikTok or on here, thanks you guys for hanging out with me tonight, and I will see you all next month. Good night, everybody. Donna, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for
Shauna. Hey, Shauna. Did I
Thank you.
Yes, nice to meet you.
It was so nice to meet you too. Bye. Right, I couldn't tell who else. Oh, I'm seeing all these hearts. I love that. This is a new thing. I have never seen hearts before. Where did all these hearts come from? Hi, Gael. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for the heart. Hi. Hello there. Who's that handsome boy? Who is that handsome boy? Is that a handsome boy? Oh my gosh, so precious. All right. Bye, everybody.
Little girl. Say bye.
Oh,
Bye. Thank you. Thank you again.
you're welcome. Bye. Oh my gosh, what a cutie.
Bye.